Good evening and welcome to the Saturday Night Thunder Racing League race at Michigan. It's the first round of the round, or it's the first race, of the round of five here on Fireball Talks NASCAR. I'm your host, Garrett Hess, covering for David. He could not make it, so I'm covering for him in the broadcasting department. Apologies if my voice sounds a little bit funky. I am coming out of a cold, but I'm dedicated to trying to give you the best viewing experience for this wonderful league. So we are just wrapping up with qualifying, or with practice, and qualifying is starting to get underway. Let's see if anyone is looking to get the ball rolling when uh it comes to qualifying right now. Ashton Miller on track at the moment, but 2 mile. Ooh, big loose moment from Ashton Miller. But I was just about to say 2 miles of very wide, very wide track here at the Michigan Raceway. Not exactly flat out. You can go flat out at the beginning if you have enough grip, but this is definitely a very skill-based track, but um, lots of fun, multiple lines you can run, and let's get someone who is going up to speed right now. Let's look at James Thurston, uh, the Las Vegas winner the last time I covered Saturday Night Thunder. You can see there's a lot of grip and also a lot of banking all the way up at the wall. So you will see throughout the race people running all sorts of lines, covering from near the wall to hugging the white line. But starting his first lap is James Thurston. Looks like he's going to go from high to low, getting as low as he can go while getting a good exit is important for these qualifying laps. It's very tough to set a good qualifying time at Michigan because the line you have to take is so precise since the corner is so wide. James Thurston might have came onto the bottom a little bit too early in 3 and 4. Going to get a good run out of 4, but this is definitely probably going to be his flying lap. He is on pole right now with a 39.678. 300ths of a second over second place Braden Hunsaker as he misses the bottom in 1 and 2. So yeah, definitely his first lap is going to be his fast lap. Will anyone have anything to match James Thurston in this long qualifying session? We still got 2 minutes left. Let's look at Jordan Kuntz starting his lap right now. Had a pretty disappointing outing the last time I took over at Las Vegas. Gets really sideways in turn 2, but is able to hold it together. Might lose a tenth or so just by not being able to get as low as Thurston was, but he also was able to get a pretty fast exit. It all comes down to 3 and 4. Running one lane above the bottom. Let's see what time this nets Jordan Kuntz, that 99 car. A 39.670 is going to be second on the board because Matthew White, one of your championship contenders right now, has set the pole time with a 39.625. So a very nice lap from that 88 car, and certainly be helpful in his quest to try and win the championship because I believe after last race the championship field got slimmed down from 10 to 5 cars. And if you look at the ticker on the top of the screen, you'll see that some drivers have a C in their name in parentheses. That designates who is in the championship battle, essentially. So it is James Thurston, Matthew Weeks, Brandon Hunsicker, Aiden Donahue, and Matthew White are your 5 contenders. But as I was speaking about that, Matthew Weeks, uh, can't get a picture of him right now, but Matthew Weeks has set the pole time with a 39.569, an absolutely blazing lap for that number 11 car. Last car on track right now is, well, was on track, was the 79 of Ashton Miller. Big field today, too. I believe we have 30 cars rolling out for tonight's event. So we are we are going to have a good time here at Michigan. But before we get to the race, we got warm-ups to do. So what's a better time to get the crank it up rolling uh, while everyone gets all the pre-race jitters warmed up out of them. Okay, warm-up is starting to get wrapped up, and the race is just about to get to the gridding stage. So, with that being said, I will run through your starting lineup in just one moment. Okay, starting on pole, as stated previously, is the number 11 of Matthew Weeks, and on his outside is the number 88 of Matthew White. And Matthew, front row, and an all championship contender front row for tonight's race at Michigan. Starting on the inside of row number 2 is the 56 of Jack Drucker. Came super close at Las Vegas, looking to get it done here at Michigan. And on his outside is the number 16 of Vinny Tigner. Inside of row number 3 is the 99 of Jordan Kuntz. On his outside is a very fast driver, number 96, James Thurston. Inside of row number 4 is the number 22 of Cole Wilson. On his outside is the 00 of Braden Hunsicker. Inside of row number 5 is the number 31 of Rick Spencer Walton. On his outside, rounding out your top 10, is the number 63 of Henry Kaloff. First driver outside the top 10 is the number 12 of Cameron Chandler. On his outside is the 57 of Kenneth Garrell, making up row number 6. Inside of row number 7 is the 24 of John Meeks. And on his outside is the number 93 of Nick Baston. Inside of row number 8 is the 83 of Ari Tolliver. On his outside is the 02 of Christian Herklotz. Inside of row number 9 is number 90 of Chris Tripp. And on his outside is number 45 of Jordan Owens. Inside of row number 10 is going to be the 8 of Jamie Lockwood. And rounding out your top 20 drivers is going to be the 94 of CJ Erdman. First driver outside the top 20 in qualifying is going to be the 17 of Michael Deitch. And on his outside is going to be the number 1 of Matthew Fastnot. Inside of row number 12 is going to be the 92 of Asher Bunkley. And starting way back all the way in 24th is going to be the number 82 of Aiden Donahue. Another one of your championship contenders. He's going to have to make up a lot of ground tonight. Inside of row number 13 is going to be the number 29 of Richard Cherry. And on his outside is going to be the number 79 of Ashton Miller. Inside of row number 14 is going to be the 19 of Trey Holmes. And his outside is going to be the number 72 of Connor Asbill. Inside of row number 15 is going to be the number 21 of Brody Webster. And his outside is going to be Tyler Sievert. Webster, I believe, is making his first start in the league tonight. So best of luck to him. And rounding out your field in 31st position on the inside of row number 16 is the number 40 of Roger Sievert. That rounds out your starting lineup. So we are getting ready for a nice big field here at Michigan. 90 laps here, 4 sets of tires, 1 faster pair. If we need them, we have 3 green-white checkers to play with, so we got lots of racing to do. Calculator telling me it's going to be about an hour of racing if we go flag to flag like we did at Vegas. Pace car is in. Matthew Weeks is going to be leading this field of 31 cars to the green in the first race of the championship round of 5. Green flag is out. Good start by Matthew Weeks. Already clear of Matthew White and able to choose whatever line he wants. Now Matthew White having to deal with the 56 of Jack Drucker on his inside as the field already starting to fan out. You can see James Thurston peeking up high, going to the outside of Vinny Tigner. Not able to get there just yet on corner exit. But you can see just how long these back straightaways are, and Matthew White already able to get to the outside of Matthew Weeks, as I believe that's James Thurston running all the way up top near the wall, getting a huge head of steam, 4 wide for what looks like 3rd place. I mean, I can't really tell. Thurston in the wall a little bit, but getting a huge run He's going to muscle his way to the front, and Matthew White leads the first lap despite starting on the outside row. So Matthew White, a great start for him. And look at James Thurston running all the way near the wall here in that 96 car. Cars are all bunched together. Oh, a little bit of side-by-side contact with the 56 of Drucker. And I believe that was Weeks that he might have made a little bit of contact with. But anyways, no harm, no fouls. Let's get a wider shot so we can see all the cars in the angle. And oh my gosh, we are going 4 wide in the corners, and they are keeping it completely clean. You can see the 22 of Cole Wilson also involved as, whoa, big blink out for a second for person we were focusing on, Matthew White. Looks like he's got his internet connections back under control. But James Thurston ripping the seam right now, or ripping the wall, I mean. And if he can get it done, he's going to have a great run on corner exit. Not able to clear Weeks just yet. Here comes Tigner all the way to the bottom. 3 wide for the lead. Weeks backs off a little bit. Now Kaloff jumps to his outside for the 3rd spot. And Thurston going to be able to power his way to the front. And he's going to be clear of Tigner on corner exit. So great stuff. Great stuff off the rip from James Thurston. Fastest lap of the race right now goes to Henry Kaloff. He's another person who's been hustling forward. I believe he started in about 6th spot, and now he's up to 2nd. Further in the back, we see Kenneth Gurrell going a little bit high on corner exit in 11th spot right now. But up front, Henry Kaloff makes a big lunge to the lead in front of James Thurston. Henry Kaloff hungry to get some extra points for leading laps. And he'll be able to do so as he leads lap number 4 out of 90. Field mostly starting to thin out right now. Henry Kaloff once again with the fastest lap, a 39.512. See, things are getting a little bit dicey further back. Jordan Kuhnsen, Rick Spencer-Walt dead even as they race down the backstretch into turn 3. That 8 car down there is Cameron Chandler trying to get past Kenneth Gurrell in that 57 car. Matthew White has slid back from what I said was a near perfect start all the way back to 6th spot. But if he picks his battles right, he can get right back into the battle with the leaders if he uses the draft to his advantage. But Vinny Tigner has also gone past James Thurston. So maybe Thurston and Weeks and Drucker are now trying to tire save a little bit and let Vinny Tigner and Henry Kaloff battle it out for the lead. As Tigner lunges to the bottom, we're going to slide up right in front of Kaloff once he's clear. And Tigner looking to claim a lap lead for his own, and he'll get it done on a lap number 6, coming to lap number 7. But now Thurston peeking to the inside. Will he thrust it on the bottom? No, he won't. He has to check up a lot. Looks like that car got really tight on the bottom, and he had to corral that thing so it didn't slide up the track. But Vinny Tigner currently your leader, and he's got a very hungry Henry Kaloff right behind him. Further in the back, we still got great battling between John Meeks and Nick Basden. And you can see Ari Tolliver looking to make it 3 wide, but a little bit of contact between Basden and Meeks. Oh, save it! I believe he was able to keep it out of pit lane for Nick Basden. Great save by him to not damage that car, and also not to go into pit lane, and to keep this race green so far. But for the lead, Thurston is battling with Kaloff for second, and Tigner not able to really escape the draft of the 63 and 96. Thurston might have gone a little bit tight, maybe squeezed Kaloff up a little bit, but it seems like nothing bad happened of it. Tigner enjoying the 2 cars battling behind him. And that can change at any moment, as he might be split 3 in the middle of this corner. Kaloff to the outside of the 12, or of the 16, my apologies. 12 on the side is throwing me out just a smidge. But Tigner doing his best to try to hold off Kaloff for the time being. And now Kaloff diving to the inside, using that far bottom lane to lever his way past Vinny Tigner. As Nick Basman now 10 seconds behind the leaders. So he's probably going to need a caution if he wants to catch up to the rest of this field. It's going to be interesting to see how these cars handle as the race goes on. Because if they get looser, we might have a very slick race track going on. Especially if we don't have that many cautions. Currently looking at Kenneth Gorell slotting in behind Cameron Chandler. And for the lead, Tigner is fighting back against Henry Kaloff. Tigner has the bottom, and Kaloff does not have the run off the corner that he needs to clear Tigner. So Tigner is going to have a great entry into turn 1 if he can get it done. Might be able to clear Kaloff, depending on how it's run. Tigner running a little bit higher up than Thurston is, and I think Kaloff was expecting Tigner to run a little bit lower too. So they are still side by side on corner exit coming down the back straight. Dead even into turn 3. Tigner with the advantage. And I think Thurston and Matthew Weeks are licking their chops seeing Tigner and Kaloff race each other this hard. That just means that they are heating up their tires much quicker than they are. You see Jack Drucker now making a move on Matthew Weeks for the 4th spot while this battle for the lead is going on. Tigner gets a little bit tight on corner entry. Able to keep it off of Kaloff. Turns it down the track. Not going to have as good of an exit as Kaloff. But they are still side by side for the lead. They've been doing this for about 2 laps now. A great battle for the lead unfolding in these early stages of this Michigan race. That's what makes this track so entertaining, is that you can run so many different lines and you can just stay glued to someone's side very easily. As Jack Drucker now looking at the inside of James Thurston. So we now have 2 battles for 1st and 3rd respectively. And Drucker completes the pass on Thurston, but Tigner and Kaloff are still going at it. They're throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. And they are putting on a show for us tonight. As Tigner running all the way on the bottom, Kaloff giving him plenty of room. Can Tigner clear him? Looks like he's still not able to. Not able to get as great of an exit as he wanted to. And here comes Jack Drucker in the 56, all the way up from 4th spot. Now having a save for this lead battle. But looks like he's more than happy just to watch, since he's well in the draft of these 2 leaders. Because he's going to be pushing Kaloff down the backstretch. Maybe trying to see if he can follow Kaloff past Tigner if he can. But Tigner's getting such a good run through the center of the corner that he's actually able to clear Kaloff. Does Kaloff have an answer to Tigner? Yes, he does. He's going to slot down to the bottom. And now it's Kaloff on the bottom and Tigner up top. Here at Michigan as they fly into turn 1 at well over 170 miles per hour. Tigner with the crossover. As now Tigner looks to go to the bottom and Kaloff back to the top. Great racing for the lead, as you can see Jordan Kuntz at the edge of the frame. But Kaloff did not get a good exit off of turn 2. And now Tigner is going to be well clear of Kaloff. But now Kaloff has to worry about Jack Drucker on his inside. Threatening the 2nd spot for him right now. Side by side for 2nd place. Back to what we were seeing about 6 laps ago when Thurston and Kaloff were side by side behind Tigner. But looks like Drucker was getting really loose in the center of the corner. I thought I saw him counter steer the car a little bit. Still, he's able to hang on the left rear of Henry Kaloff and might be able to work him over just a little bit. But this is exactly what Tigner wants to see. He wants these two cars to hold each other up for as long as possible. Because if you can break the draft here at Michigan, uh, you can have quite the advantage. Especially if the cars behind you are battling. And that's exactly what's happening to Tigner right now, as there is a 3/10 of a second gap between him and Drucker. But Drucker is going to lever his way past Kaloff, entering turn 3, and in the middle of 3 and 4, he's going to clear Kaloff. And I think the handling's starting to go on that 63 car. I think he might have burned up that right rear a little bit too soon, because you see how squirrely that car is getting on exit, as Weeks is now working on the inside of Kaloff. So now Jack Drucker has to make up about 3.5 tenths up to Vinny Tigner. If he can get a little bit of help from Matthew Weeks, that would certainly help him get to the back end of Tigner. As Kaloff is now dropping back to the 4th position. Jordan Kuntz in 7th, and that number 99 all over the back end of Matthew White. Of course, the moment I mentioned Matthew White, he blinks out. But very, very respectful racing going on right now. You love to see it, especially for the lead, as Matthew Weeks going to the bottom of Jack Drucker and going to make a very swift and clean move on the 56. Now Drucker going to push Weeks, try and get some sort of momentum going towards Vinny Tigner, since they have one common goal, and that's to catch that number 16 car, who seems to be sailing away at the moment. But if these drivers can work together, nothing would be stopping them from catching that 12. I keep thinking the 12 car because the number on the side. That 16 of Tigner. We got Matthew White going to the inside of Kaloff. So yeah, definitely tire fall off for that number 63. But I think that he got what he wanted. He wanted to lead some laps, and he definitely put on a show to make the early runnings of this race very interesting. And now we will have to see if Matthew Weeks can catch up to Tigner. And it looks like he's already cut down a 10th on the leader, down to just 3/10 from 4/10. Just a lap ago, so very slowly but surely working his way forward. See further in the back, Kuntz and Kaloff battling for the 6th spot. So maybe Kaloff can hang on to the back end of this lead pack if his tires aren't too destroyed. As Matthew Weeks gets really close to the wall, maybe trying to push that car a little bit to get as much as he can and catch up to the 16 ASAP. But Jack Drucker doing a good job of helping that 11 car along to get him to the back end of the 16. And don't forget about that 96 car. He's like a shark when it comes to these races. He'll, if he's not leading, he'll be lurking just a couple spots back, ready to strike at any time, and always seeming to be in the best position to strike. But we got a caution coming out, and I believe it's for, oh, that's the 94 of CJ Erdman, and I believe that's the 02 of Herklotz we saw parked at the top of the track. So let's get a replay going on for the first caution of tonight's event. Okay, currently looking at the 94 of CJ Erdman. And it looks like the 02 of Herklotz, that Red Bull car on the top side, gets really squirrely and he's trying to correct it. And the car is just pushing towards the outside wall while he's trying to save it. It just bounces off the wall and just unfortunately tags the right rear of Erdman. And then Erdman trying to corral the car just completely loses it. Nothing he could do. And unfortunately collects Jordan Owens, who, yeah, that car, that right that right front suspension is toasted. That's a hard lick to the inside wall for that 45 car. Luckily, there is one faster pair, so these cars aren't completely done. But definitely not what you want to see. As yeah, Herklotz seems like he was just losing that car and unfortunately collected the 94 and 45 in it. So that is that is your first caution of tonight's event. As I believe Vinny Tigner was the first person off of pit lane, everyone getting a fresh set of tires. But honestly, a pretty good green flag run, all things considered. We got about a third of the race already done, and I mean that race flew by, or at least those 30 or those 20 laps or so flew by. So, and was very entertaining. So field's gonna get all bunched back together once again, and we're gonna have another go at it when everyone has fresh tires. So it looks like your top 10 as it stands right now is Vinny Tigner, Jack Drucker, Matthew Weeks, James Thurston, Matthew Wright, Rick Spencer, Walt, Jordan Kuntz, Brayton Hunsaker, Cole Wilson, and John Meeks. Good running from Rick Spencer, Walt currently just right outside the top five. If you make one position gain, he can get into the top five, but he's got some very heavy competition right behind him, and Braden Hunsaker and Jordan Kuntz. But pace car lights are off. We are going to be going green flag racing this time by. And so we are going to be restarting on lap 26 out of 90. So we have 65 laps to go when we go green flag racing once again. Looks like everyone besides the 02 and 79 have the 02 of Herklotz and the 79 of Ashton Miller are still in this race. Looks like Herklotz and Miller had to leave, unfortunately. So we will have 27 cars restarting, and we have one car one lap down, and that's the 45 of Jordan Owens, who I believe had to tow to pit lane. But pace car is off. Vinny Tigner is going to lead the field to the green flag.
Green flag.
Restart is underway, and a great start for Tigner as he caught the 56 of Drucker sleeping a little bit. Weeks going to be able to jump to the inside of the 56, and at least a car length and a half of distance between the 16 and 56. But we are going 3 and 4 wide. Once again, big sideways move for Jordan Kuntz. Oh, he's in the wall. Big wreck in the back. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, that's a huge wreck. I see. Oh, geez. Trying to get someone who is involved, but there's Kuntz involved. Lockwood. I think Garell's in it. Them cold tires will bite you, as Cam Chandler's in it as well. So let's get a replay to see what happened just at that moment, because we saw it at the edge of the frame. We weren't able to get a good scope on just how big that wreck was. 'Cause it looks like it included a good chunk of the field. So looking at Jordan Coons in the black number 99, it looks like he gets loose. I don't know if there's contact between him and the 22, but he gets really loose on exit, trying to save it. Kenneth Garrell's already up there, nowhere for him to go. Just unfortunate and timing. You see Meeks hits the wall and then lifts the rear end of Garrell off the ground. And then, yeah, you see Chandler hits the back end of Garrell. I believe that's the 8 of Lockwood who slammed to the back of Coons. But yeah, lots of damage. As you can see, Lockwood spinning around right there. But that's why we have these fast repairs, as you see, Michael Deach, also with heavy damage on the left side of that car. Like I said, that's why we have these fast repairs, so that you can essentially have a mulligan if you get in a wreck that is not of your own doing, and to essentially have a second chance. Which I'm sure some of these drivers are very thankful for, like Lockwood, who now has a perfectly fresh car after taking his one and only fast repair. But Tigner, with his great restart, was able to stay in the lead. And now with that huge shakeup, your top 10 is now looking like Vinny Tigner, Jack Drucker, James Thurston, Matthew Weeks, Matthew White, Rick Spencer-Walt, Cole Wilson, Braden Hunsinger, Aiden Donahue, and Henry Kaloff. Donahue has already made his way up into the top 10 despite starting near the back half of the field. I believe he started in like 24th or something like that. I said that he had a pretty long journey ahead of him, but I might have been mistaken since he's already up into the 9th position. So it looks like when we will go green flag racing once again, it will be on lap number 30 out of 90. And hopefully we can get some more green flag racing. And hopefully that caution was just the result of cold tires and a very hot track. But the field spreading out to double file as we have one more trip around the Michigan Raceway. As something we haven't mentioned today, Asher Bunkley in the 92 has gotten to the 11th spot, one spot outside of the top 10. And with how crazy these restarts have been, anything can jostle the running order up one position. So we'll have to keep tabs on this 92 car, the Race to Top Suicide, number 92 of Asher Bunkley. See if they'll be a contender in the closing stages of this race when it matters the most. But coming through turns 3 and 4, pace car is going to pull off any time now to allow us to go green flag racing once again. And there we go. Pace car is in. Coming to lap number 30, it's going to be Vinny Tigner leading the field to the green flag. Green flag is out, and Tigner with another great start, able to essentially replicate the gap that he got on the 56 of Drucker last race. But this time, James Thurston poking to the inside of the 56, and he's going to be all the way on the bottom. And we were just about to go 4 wide for about 5th place back there with Spencer Walt, Hunsicker, and Donahue back there. But for the lead, it is James Thurston and Vinny Tigner battling it out on their fresh tires. Thurston with a big lunge all the way on the bottom, able to make it stick with a lot of room to spare over Tigner. And now Tigner and Jack Drucker working together to try to get a run on that 96. Here comes the 16 to the bottom of the 96. Thurston ripping the wall right now. He's the only driver running that high up. Can he make it work as Tigner on his inside? Looks like Thurston not able to clear Tigner just yet. So maybe running that far up isn't working out for him too well to try and retain the lead as Tigner slides up the track a little bit. Luckily, Thurston was also sliding up the track, so no contact made, but Thurston able to clear Tigner for the lead as Cole Wilson now battling Jack Drucker for the second spot at the center of the shot right now. As it looks like Tigner might have had a little bit of a miscue entering the corner and lost a bunch of time on Thurston. So now Thurston with a chance to breathe for a second right now as he's uncontested down the back straightaway. But now Cole Wilson fiercely battling with the 56 of Jack Drucker, still holding strong to his outside, almost got on the wall. And Drucker able to just barely sneak by on the inside of Wilson. But I don't think this battle is going to be done anytime soon. But you see Thurston running all the way on the bottom, Tigner running more towards the middle line. And here comes Wilson to the inside of Drucker. Almost gets into him, but able to keep his nose clean. And able to maintain the great level of racing that we've had so far. As Drucker thought about moving to the inside of Tigner, but thought better of it entering the corner. As Thurston has pulled out to about a 2.5 second or 2.5 tenth gap over Vinny Tigner. See, mostly single file thus far, and about the top 6 to 10. As you see in the back, Kaloff on the inside of Aiden Donahue. Let's look at that battle right here as Asher Bunkley blinking out a little bit. As I believe, for a second, I thought I saw Spencer Walt and Hunsicker doing battle. But Donahue trying to work his way through the field. Restarted in 9th, but hasn't really moved anywhere just yet. He's got it in front of Henry Kaloff. But Asher Bunkley has gone from 11th to 8th, and they are ripping that high line. Spencer Walt chops off their nose into the wall because Spencer Walt able to keep it clean. Did he save that? I think he did without hitting anyone else. As far as I could tell, I don't think he hit anyone else. What a great save by the 31 of Rick Spencer Walt. Did not cause a huge accident. And let's see, I don't think anyone hit his nose. We're going to try to get a better camera angle. Yeah, I don't think anyone actually hit the 31 of Rick Spencer Walt. So a great show of car control to avoid spinning that car out and bringing out a caution. But up at the front, Tigner has closed the gap on James Thurston to just over 1/10 of a second. So the battle for the lead is once again heating up with someone very hungry to contend. But we will see if Tigner is going to be able to make something happen on James Thurston. Looking to the bottom, the 16 is, but I don't think he's going to have the run. As I stand corrected, he has a huge run down the backstretch. I thought Thurston, I thought Thurston got a better corner exit than Tigner, and I was just sorely mistaken as Tigner catapults his way to the front. And now Thurston looking for the crossover on corner exit. Looks like he's going to get it. But Tigner's at least going to lead this lap. It looks like Drucker thought about pulling to the inside, but he's going to go high and help out Tigner in that number 16. So Thurston all the way on the bottom, Tigner in the middle, and Jack Drucker looking to help Tigner. Thurston slides up the track a little bit, no contact made. Lots of close, hard racing here at Michigan. And Tigner's going to have a great run down the backstretch on that high side, and Thurston has to slot inside. But now Thurston going to come under attack from the 56 of Jack Drucker. As, Thurston got to the outside of Tigner. Tigner tried to close it off, but realized that Thurston was there and could not close the gap. So now Thurston on the outside, Tigner on the inside. Tigner run the bottom, forcing Thurston to run higher up. But that's pretty much Thurston's comfortable zone, is higher up on the track. He loves ripping the wall. And he might get a really good exit off the backstretch. Looks like he doesn't. Still side by side with Tigner. About dead even entering turn 3. But advantage goes to Tigner since he's all the way on the bottom. But a great drive in by James Thurston, allowing him to maybe clear Tigner on corner exit. And he does. So James Thurston retakes the lead just as soon as he lost it. But now Tigner with a big head of steam with a nice push from Jack Drucker in that 56 car. Now battling for the lead once again. Drucker trying to get both the 16 and 96 to burn up their tires a little bit, battling so hard. And if that's what he's trying to do, he's doing a great job at it, because these two are really going at it for the lead right now. As Tigner with a slight edge, but he gets a little loose as he gets out of the gas a little bit. Here comes Thurston on the outside. A much better drive out of the corner, but he still remains side by side with the 12 car. A little bit of a nudge. Oh, really close from Drucker. That really upset the back end of Tigner, but they were able to keep it clean. I thought it was going to be a surefire wreck, but that was just like a weird bump. It seemed pretty straightforward, but it got the 16 all out of sorts. But like I've said a bunch of times, no harm, no foul, it seems. As Tigner moving to the inside of Thurston, trying to lever past him to clear, but looks like it's not going to be able to work. He gets a little bit tight on the bottom. He's going to slide up the track. Thurston has to slide up the track too to not get touched by Tigner's car. But Thurston going to have the advantage across the stripe. But Tigner doing a great job side drafting and pulling Thurston back to about dead even as they enter the corner. But Thurston able to get on the gas a little bit earlier since he's a little bit higher up. But I tell you what, Tigner is driving the wheels off this car and able to do it for a pretty long period of time, as he's been consistently battling for the lead throughout the entire race. And it always makes me clench up a little bit when he slides up off the bottom. But looks like him and Thurston are very in touch with how each other's driving styles interact and are able to keep it very clean and exciting. As we are just approaching the halfway point in about 2 laps time. But Thurston didn't get that great of a exit out of 2. Was running a little higher than he'd like, and Tigner now has the advantage entering turn 3. Can Tigner finally clear the 96? No, it won't look like it. That center corner speed from Thurston is just a little bit too much on the outside for Tigner to make anything happen. And now Jack Drucker trying to push the 12 or the 16 once again to the inside, but now he has to worry about Cole Wilson on his back end. Still side by side for the lead, but looks like Thurston's finally going to be able to clear Vinny Tigner coming out of turn 2. Yes, he will. Tigner has to slot in behind Thurston and in front of Drucker. That doesn't mean he's going to fight for the lead again as he pokes to the inside of the 96. James Thurston probably wondering what can he do to shake this 16 off of him. Oh, he's to get him to hold back for at least a lap, running all the way on the apron. Lap 45 or lap 44 out of 90 in the book. next lap will be the halfway point. As you see Jack Drucker running real high up, and it might be under attack from Cole Wilson soon. But now a gap building between Thurston and Tigner. Tigner might have used up all the good that was in those tires, trying to battle Thurston for so long. Similar to what Henry Kaloff did earlier this race. But Tigner is still battling hard to keep that second spot, as he's going to be side by side with Jack Drucker. And it looks like Tigner is going to have help from Cole Wilson. While Drucker's pretty much in no man's land on the outside, or on the inside, I apologize. As seems like Matthew White also looking to help out people on the outside. Still about dead even between the 56 and 16. One would imagine that Jack Drucker has slightly better tires than Tigner, but Tigner's certainly not making it seem like it, as Drucker ran Tigner up the track, but no dirty racing involved here. But Cole Wilson making a move to the inside on the 56. He's been biding his time behind these leaders and looking for his chance to strike. And here he comes. Looks like he might be able to get past Drucker. No, he won't. He got really loose at the back end of the corner, as we saw Hunsinger get really sideways too. So Cole Wilson almost got it done on the 56, but just pushed it a little too hard, and that car got out from under him, able to save it. So Drucker currently somewhat safe in second, as he scrapes the wall a little bit and loses a little bit of speed on exit. The gap from first to second is now 0.3 of a second. But now Tigner looking to get past the 22 of Cole Wilson. Wilson's trying to fight as hard as he can on the outside, but Tigner able to make the move stick. And now Matthew White trying to work on the inside of Cole Wilson, as he's also been another driver who's been biding his time. And not really making a lot of moves, but just trying to save his stuff. As he goes to the inside of Tigner, able to essentially paint that yellow line. As, yeah, Matthew White is the fastest driver in this top 5 right here. And the only driver close to him that's faster is the number 82 of Aiden Donahue, who is really slowly carving his way through the top 10. We were just talking about on the last restart how he was a threat for the top 10. Restarting in 11th, and now he has made his way up into the 6th spot, as he's looking to pull a move on Cole Wilson. Looking to make it almost 3 wide on Matthew White. Had to back out of it at the last second to not have White chop off his nose. So Donahue looking very dangerous on these longer runs. Same with Matthew Weeks and Braden Hunsicker, as they are also closing in on the shot here. But Jack Drucker slowly but surely making his way back to the back end of James Thurston. As let me get the laps to go graphic going. So we have 40 laps to go here at Michigan. If this goes all the way green, we still have about 30 minutes of racing action left here. So don't leave anytime soon. We still got a race to decide. As Thurston still leading, but now Tigner looking to the inside of Jack Drucker, trying to get past him. As it seems like the only person able to battle with Thurston has been that 16 car of Tigner. And now it looks like Drucker going to help out Tigner as much as he can with the draft, but mostly single file racing here in this top 5. as you can see in the back of the shot, Donahue looking to try and make something happen on Cole Wilson, but not able to get anything done just yet. But now Tigner closing in on Thurston. Doing a good job. Looks like he's doing a great job of managing speed and tire wear, because normally people would start sliding back, but Tigner has been holding strong. As you can see at the top of the screen, Donahue now working on Cole Wilson to his inside. Gonna have help from Matthew Weeks in that 11 car, as Weeks looking to make it 3 wide all the way on the bottom instead of helping the 82. Weeks wants to take the 2-for-1 deal. He's going to go all the way on the bottom, slide up just a little bit, but he has to back out of it not to slide up into the 82. And Donahue able to pull out in front of Wilson. And Weeks is not going to get rewarded for that move at all, as he gains 0 positions from it. But another opportunity may be presenting itself soon, as he gets a little. I thought he got into the 22 for a second, but he got really close to the quarter panel of Wilson, but looks like he kept it off of the 22, able to keep it clean. As for the lead right now, Tigner is closing in on James Thurston, and he has an entourage with Jack Drucker and Matthew White right behind him. White is looking bad fast. Looks like he might have done a better job of saving his stuff than Tigner and Drucker, with 36 laps to go. I believe they might have to make one more pit stop, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know the fuel window myself, so I might be completely wrong about that. But James Thurston still in the lead. Gap is about 0.2 of a second over Vinny Tigner, as Aiden Donahue now in the top 5, and now in the hunt, only half a second behind James Thurston. As now Tigner with a run to the inside of Thurston. Here comes Tigner taking the lead. Advantage goes to the 16. He's going to have it entering turn 1, but Thurston going to try to battle back on that high side. Will Tigner be able to slot up in front of the 96? Looks like he'll be able to do it, but don't count out Thurston to jump to the bottom into turns 3 and 4, as he's actually going to go all the way up top, but he's got Matthew White right behind him to worry about, as Tigner has been looking bad fast all race long, no matter how hard he's battling other drivers. As he shuts the door on Thurston, looking all the way up top. Now Thurston running the wall again. Can Thurston get a really good exit out of this corner? You saw how close he was getting in the center of the corner. Oh, he scrapes the wall a little bit. That's going to hurt him on exit. And now Matthew White is able to slide past him. Jack Drucker to the inside of Thurston. Thurston flew a little bit too close to the sun, but able to get away with minimal amounts of consequence. That looks like he didn't hit the wall that hard, just lightly rubbed against it. But Vinny Tigner now sitting pretty in the first spot with 33 laps to go, entering turn 1. But he's got a very fast Matthew White right behind him. And then right behind White is Thurston, who is dangerously fast once he gets himself collected after that little wall scrape. But White was looking to the inside of Tigner. Tigner blocked it off, but he runs a little bit tight in the center of the corner. Here comes White on the bottom. Can he pull Tigner alongside? Tigner shuts the door, coming to the stripe. 32 laps to go here at Michigan. Drucker giving Thurston one heck of a push, as now Matthew White looking to run the wall to get a good run out of the corner. Here comes Thurston looking to the inside of White. Not close enough to make anything happen, as Vinny Tigner actually gained a little bit of time when White tried to run the wall. So maybe that maybe that super high line might not be viable. But that 88 car is still a rocket ship, it seems. And we will have to see if he can get past the 16 of Tigner. But the caution is out. We'll have to see who it is for. Race officials telling me it is for Asher Bunkley with a lot of damage on the rear of that car. Was not able to see what exactly was happening, so let's get a replay going on that real quick. Okay, looking at Asher Bunkley right now, very sideways out of the corner, overcorrects right in front of Ari Tolliver. Tolliver doesn't really have anywhere to go. Bunkley gets in the wall. Tolliver hits Bunkley again. That includes the 93 of Nick Basden, but I don't think Basden got any damage from it. But Bunkley goes all the way around, and that is what brings out your caution. As these cars do become a handful when the rear tires start to wear. But that's what we have the faster pair for. But definitely a shakeup that the field is getting with this caution because 30 laps to go. That pretty much eliminates any fuel issues that they might have. So now it is going to be a tire saving contest, it seems. From here on out, fuel strategy is out the window as everyone dives into pit lane. Let's see who comes out on top. It's probably going to be Tigner since I believe everyone's going to be taking 4 tires. It's a little bit too early to be trying anything crazy with two tire stops. As someone went around in pit lane. I couldn't tell who that was. That is Wilson. Cole Wilson went around in pit lane. What happened right here? Oh yeah, Wilson was braking for pit lane. It looks like Coons thought that his car was ghosted, and evidently it was not. And Wilson gets sent around. That's a very clean recovery, but probably not the happiest camper right now. And Matthew White actually comes out ahead of Vinny Tigner. So Matthew White is going to assume the lead of the race under caution. I believe next time by will be the 1 to green. So we should be restarting with 27 laps to go on lap number 64 out of 90. This field is going double file. Lapped cars are being waved around. We still have 26 cars on track right now, and only 2 of them are lapped. That's the 24 of John Meeks and the 57 of Kenneth Garrell. Those are the only lapped cars so far, so most of the field doing a great job keeping it together. But Matthew White choosing the outside for the restart. Yes, Tigner is going to be on the inside. But 27 laps to go when we go green flag racing. Once again, your top 10 is Matthew White, Vinny Tigner, Matthew Weeks, Aiden Donahue, Braden Hunsaker, Jack Drucker, Connor Aswell, James Thurston, Henry Kaloff, and Jordan Owens. So a big shakeup in the field after the caution involving Asher Bunkley and Ari Tolliver. Pace car is in. We're about to go green flag racing one more time. Matthew White is going to be leading the field to, I believe, the 4th restart of today's event. Green flag is out, and a great start for Matthew White as he's able to put about 2 car lengths on Matthew White and Vinny Tigner. Tigner was not very prepared for the jump from the 88. And Matthew White going to try and use everything that he's got to try and maintain that lead. As you see James Thurston running all the way up top, making 3 wide moves at the top of the track near the wall. As that's his favorite passing zone. As we were about to go 5 wide for a second, almost went 4 wide. This track is more than accommodating of it in the center of the corners, but it does funnel up a little bit on exit. But 3-ride racing for the 3rd spot here as Hunsaker, Donahue, and Weeks all battling to try and close the gap to Matthew White. Thurston running all the way near the wall, getting put out there by Donahue. Thurston's in the wall a little bit, able to keep it off of other drivers. But here comes Jack Drucker to the lead with a huge head of steam on the inside of the 88 of Matthew White. Drucker able to clear the 88. But how long will it be before a crossover attempt or someone else comes into the fray and tries to take the lead from coming to 25 laps to go here at Michigan? As Jack Drucker has just set the fastest lap of the race while taking the lead, a 39.287 as Matthew White looking to the inside, but not close enough to get to the inside of the 56, able to clear in front of Weeks as that surprised Thurston a little bit as you saw him react to it by jumping to the bottom. Weeks with a huge head of steam, able to lever his way in front of the 88. Almost chopped off the 88's nose, but is still able to get the move done. And James Thurston is recovering quickly from his little wall scrape earlier, 1 to 2 laps ago, as he's lunging it all the way on the bottom. He's to the inside of the 56, but he doesn't have the momentum to stay on the inside of the 56. But he's got in front of the 11. And what line will Thurston take? He's forced to take the high side as Weeks jumps to his inside. So now Matthew Weeks all the way on the bottom, sliding up a little bit on exit. But Weeks looks like a force to be reckoned with here as you see Aiden Donahue trying to push Matthew White up to this leading 3 group of cars. As Weeks and Thurston side by side entering turn 1. Weeks is going to make a move on the 56. Almost contact made, but they keep it off each other. Weeks to the inside of Drucker. Can Drucker hold him off? There, side by side, running down the backstretch into turn 3. 3 wide for the lead as Thurston makes his move all the way on the bottom. Thurston jumps on the bottom and jumps to the lead. Will the crossover come from Weeks? No, he gets a little bit loose in the center of the corner. Oh, he gets tapped by Drucker. Oh, almost into the sand barrels. As they're able to keep it straight. No caution comes out just yet, but that's got to be heartbreaking for Jack Drucker as he was having a great race and he is trying to get that car righted. Like I said, this track does funnel up a little bit on corner exits. You saw, I believe that was the 93 of Basden. Slapped the wall pretty hard. But yeah, the track does funnel quite dangerously on corner exit. And it leads to things like that happening. That's something that neither Matthew Weeks nor Jack Drucker wanted to happen at all. as both of them are having good races, and now they pretty much need a caution to come out ASAP if they want to have a chance, as James Thurston has grown his lead to about 0.4 of a second. And Jordan Owens, with a great recovery drive, got involved in the earlier wreck with CJ Erdman. And all the way back up to 6th place, battling with Vinny Tigner. And right in front of him, it's Henry Kaloff and Brandon Hunsicker doing battle for the 4th spot. Kaloff running all the way on the bottom, trying to get the leverage on Hunsicker, but Hunsicker has the better drive off, and he's going to retain the position. And now Hunsicker going to give Donahue a bump down the back stretch, telling him, hey, get a move on. We got cars to catch, essentially. As now Owen's starting to slide back just a little bit all the way on the high side without a lot of help. As Tigner trying to get 6th position from him. But James Thurston right now sitting very pretty. Now that the two cars that were most threatening him collected each other in an incident and are now out of the equation. And that the car that has been harassing him all race, Vinny Tigner, is back in the 7th position. As Tigner looking to use Kaloff's momentum to get past Owens, but not able to do it just yet, as Owens is going to use the momentum from the high side to clear Tigner. Tigner trying to block off the run from Connor Asbell. As further up front, Hunsicker was looking to the inside of Donahue. 18 laps to go. Everyone's trying to find a way to catch up to James Thurston. As you see just how much Matthew White is painting that bottom line with his car. And Hunsicker has a huge head of steam looking to try and find a way around Donahue, or maybe try to push Donahue up to Matthew White if he can. And Jordan Owens still doing battle with the 16 of Vinny Tigner, as they almost go 3 wide for a second with Henry Kaloff. But Tigner able to slot up in front of Owens, as a big wiggle out of the 82 of Donahue. Now he's going to side draft the 00 of Hunsicker to try and retain his position. But Hunsicker is going to have a great drive on corner exit. And for the lead, Matthew White has also caught up to the back end of James Thurston. The gap has gone down from 0.4 of a second to less than 1/10 of a second here as they barrel through turns 1 and 2. Thurston slides high a little bit. Does Matthew White have the run down the backstretch? Yes, he does. To the inside goes Matthew White for the lead with 16 laps to go here at Michigan. Matthew White and James Thurston doing a lot of battling in turns 3 and 4. Looks like they're going to have about an even exit. White going to go below the white line to try to use all of the inside that he can. That is very legal here at Michigan. And Hunsicker is licking his lips as he's seeing this. He wants the leaders to slow each other up, burn their tires a little bit so he can join in on the action. Henry Kaloff has inserted himself into the mix too if he can get to the back end of Hunsicker. Matthew White blinking out just a little bit, but he's still side by side with the 96 of Thurston. Advantage in the center of a corner goes to White. He might be able to have the move made on exit. Not able to get it done, as Thurston's still on his outside as they cross the stripe. 14 laps to go here at Michigan. Still side by side entering turn 1. White running a lane off the bottom, trying to use the seam to turn the car. It looks like he might be able to clear him. No, he won't. Thurston has the run on the outside. White has to keep it nice and low to not slide up into Thurston and take each other out. But how can Brandon Hunsaker turn this into his own fortune? He needs these two drivers to really slow each other up in the next 14 laps if he wants to have a shot at victory. As Thurston leads with 14 to go, coming to 13 to go, but he lets up a little early. White now pole vaults himself to the lead, but now don't count out the crossover from Thurston. Thurston looks like he's not able to get the crossover done just yet, so Matthew White in the lead for the moment, but Thurston is going to be very, very opportunistic. You know, look for any path around that 88 car. Looking one lane higher, gets a little bit loose. He's gonna have to abandon hope on this lap, but maybe if he can get a good run into turn one, he might be able to have something in his what seems like his favorite line, which is running all the way up at the top. As looks like Matthew White was thinking that Thurston was gonna run the top, but Thurston surprised him, runs the bottom, and doesn't really gain that much time on the 88. Hunsaker is now within 2/10 of Thurston. So now Hunsaker has firmly caught on to the draft of that 96 car. But it is a race against the clock right now with 11 laps to go. But you see Vinny Tegner at the edge of your screen. He's got himself up into the 4th position. One of the fastest cars today, up into the 4th spot. But it's going to be a test to see if anyone has anything for Matthew White, as he's starting to lengthen the gap between him and Thurston, now up to 0.4 of a second, as Thurston did not get a good turn 2 exit at all. Maybe the race is starting to slip away at the last possible moment for James Thurston, as he's really pushing that car for all it's worth, getting right near the wall, and just seeing Matthew White. As I say all of that, and we have a caution come out. Jordan Owens and Connor Asbell in the grass. Heavy left side damage to that 45 car, as that's gonna end his race, as he's already taken his fast repair. So James Thurston and the rest of the field catches a very lucky break, as we will go to standby mode to see what brought out this caution. Hey, looking at the 45 of Jordan Owens, goes to the inside of the 72 of Connor Asbell. I think Connor Asbell moves down a little bit trying to block, and it just sends both of them around. Just hard racing and late blocks leading to that, and Jordan Owens not able to avoid the inside wall. Hard lick to the inside. You can see it lifts up the entire right side of the car from how hard he hit it with the left side. That is definitely going to be the end of the day for Jordan Owens. But now we will have to see who takes what strategy here on pit road, because tires are king, and this is what you save your last set of tires for, is for a situation like this where you have a late race caution with less than 10 laps to go. Thurston thought about staying out, but he pulls in at the last second. Looks like no one's going to try to stay out. A very wise move, as that's John Meeks trying to get one of his laps back at the very far edge of the screen. This is a very crucial pit stop to get right. Cars are pulling in. Let's see, right side's on Matthew White. Left side's on Matthew White, so a 4-tire stop from Matthew White. As for a second I thought Matthew Weeks stayed out, but Matthew White wins the race off of pit road ahead of James Thurston. And the only car to stay out is the number 1 of Matthew Fastnot. Haven't spoken about him all race, but he is looking to lead some laps. And it says that he is on some 21 lap old tires. So maybe he will pull it into pit lane this time by after leading that 1 lap. Or maybe we are being set up to have a very interesting, I believe 6 lap to go restart, as he's staying out. So we will get to see just how big a difference 20 lap old tires is compared to completely fresh tires. And James Thurston is in the unenviable position of being right behind the guy with 20 lap old tires.
Hold on, not going green.
As it seems like we are having a little bit of a delayed caution. So instead of going green with 6 to go, we'll be going green with 5 to go. Yeah, but this entire inside line not in a great position now that they have to stay behind that 1 car until the stripe, and then they're gonna try their best to get past him as quick as possible, because time is money when it comes to these types of restarts. But pace car lights are out, so we might actually be going green flag racing this time by. Alright, pace car pulling in, and it's gonna be Matthew Fastnot on 20 lap old tires, trying to pull a stunt on everyone, and he gets not that great of a jump, honestly. Thurston already looking to his inside. White already to his outside. 3 wide for the lead. White able to get past 4 wide for second place. Fastnot is quickly sliding back with that lack of grip that he has. Luckily, it looks like it hasn't caused any issues yet. But now it is Matthew White trying to hold off James Thurston, Henry Caloff, Aiden Donahue, Vinny Tigner, and Braden Hunsicker, as Thurston looking to the outside of that 88 car. Caloff goes way up the track. I think he doesn't hit the wall. I think he saved it. But he's going to lose a ton of positions. That's going to keep him out of this race. Maybe a little bit of door banging between the 96 and 88. 5 laps to go here at Michigan. Thurston running high. Oh, Jesus. Matthew White running the middle. Thurston going to have to run off the corner. Matthew White doesn't have a choice but to slot in right behind Thurston, but he's actually side by side with him right now. I thought Thurston was going to have a great run off the corner. It looks like Matthew White was able to side draft him just enough to keep in touch with him. Still side by side with the 96 and 88. Aiden Donahue has been fast all race, and this is where it would pay off to be super fast, as he would definitely like to take home this win, as Braden Hunsicker sets the fastest lap, the only lap set in the 38 second bracket. So Braden Hunsicker is absolutely flying right now at when it matters the most. They are dead even down the back straightaway between the 96 and 88. Matthew White blinks out for a little bit, but Thurston edges ahead in the center of the corner, but he's going to slide up a little bit. Here comes White on the bottom, trying to pull him alongside, coming to 3 laps to go. and Thurston able to clear White as they both race to the bottom. Here comes Donahue up top. Thurston shuts the door on Donahue, but has to open the door for White. And a little bit of netcode between the 96 and 88. Thurston saves it. That's going to kill his momentum. Here comes Donahue all the way on the bottom. Tigner gets a little bit out of sorts as he gets doored from the 82. And now Donahue looking to the inside of Matthew White for the race lead. And Tigner all the way on the bottom looking for a piece of it too. We have a four-way battle for the lead right now. A little bit of contact between the 82 and 88. 3 wide for the lead as we cross the stripe with 2 laps to go. Hunsaker pushing White for everything that he's worth. Coming into turn 1. Thurston tucking up behind the 00. Tigner all the way on the bottom. Thurston gets into the wall in turns 1 and 2. That's going to kill his momentum, but it looks like he might be able to stay in touch for a last lap charge. Tigner on the inside of the 88 of White. It's Tigner and White battling for the lead right now. White being pushed by Hunsaker down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Vinny Tigner running all the way on the inside. He's going to have the advantage in the center of the corner in turns 3 and 4, but he's going to push up the track, lose a little bit of speed as Matthew White is getting a charge down the front straightaway. Here comes Hunsaker making it 3 wide as we come to the white flag. It's going to go to the checkered flag. No matter if we have a huge crash or not, we are going to finish this under green. Hunsaker all the way to the bottom, to the inside of Tigner. He's going to pull the slide job on the 16. The 16 makes a crossover on the 00 in front of the 88. Able to clear the 88. Hunsaker to the outside. Tigner to the inside. Here comes White looking all over the place, trying to find an opening. Vinny Tigner all the way on the bottom. He's going to make a huge charge to the inside. Hunsaker going to try to use momentum through the corner to try and make a move, coming to the stripe, getting pushed by White. Hunsaker to the outside. We're going to have a drag race to the line. Vinny Tigner on the bottom. It's going to be Vinny Tigner winning Saturday Night Thunder here at Michigan in an outstanding last 10 laps here at Michigan. What a race. Ugh. And what a race for me to call while I am sick. A crazy finish. The margin of victory being 0.03 of a second. And I tell you what, Vinny Tigner was battling for the lead the entire race. So hats off to him. As he is getting ready to do his victory celebration. So let's pull up your results while he burns it down. Vinny Tigner leads with Braden Hunsaker coming home just short. In second place, Matthew White helping him to the finish line. And Cam Chandler in fourth. The first car not in that top 3 battle. Aiden Donahue in 5th, a solid drive for him, considering that he started all the way back in like 24th. Ari Tolliver got in an accident earlier and recovers to 6th place. Nick Basden, pretty silent race for him, but comes home with a very solid 7th place. Jordan Kuntz in 8th. James Thurston drops back from leading most of the race to the 9th spot, and Matthew Weeks recovers from an accident with Jack Dricker to 10th spot. Rick Spencer-Walt, a very solid 11th place finish for him, and Henry Caloff slides back to 12th. Cole Wilson, after his incident on pit lane, slides back to 13th spot, and Jack Drucker, after his incident with Matthew Weeks, finishes in 14th. Trey Holmes, didn't speak about him at all this race, finishes in 15th. Connor Asbell, late race accident, brought him back to 16th. Tyler Sievert and Asher Bunkley, 17th and 18th, respectively. Chris Tripp, didn't speak about him at all this race, finishes in 19th, and rounding out your top 20 is the number 94 of CJ Erdman. First car outside the top 20 is the number 40 of Roger Sievert, followed by Michael Deach. Then the one of Matthew Fastnot. That staying out strategy did not work for him at all, as he finishes 12 seconds behind the leaders. John Meeks, the first car, 1 lap down, and then Kenneth Gurrell, 2 laps down. Then everyone behind Kenneth Gurrell did not finish the race. There would be Jordan Owens, Jimmy Lockwood, Christian Herklotz, Ashton Miller, Brody Webster, and Richard Cheery. But now that that is over and done with, we can get interviews done. And let me see if I can get these people into the waiting room at. Whoops, I mean to show that. Uh, at Braden. As we will go to standby for just 1 second. Okay, and we are back for interviews. And the only person that we have in the waiting room right now is your race winner, Vinny Tegner. So let's get him in the broadcast booth right now for an interview. Coming home in P1 in a crazy finish is going to be Vinny Tegner. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
That was a
That was
crazy finish, but I can't say that you did not deserve that win because you were battling hard up front all race long. And I was wondering, with how hard you were racing James Thurston and some other people, I was I was for sure certain that you were gonna burn up your tires. What was your secret to being so fast while keeping the tires pretty cool?
yeah, I mean, the battles early on there, I thought I was gonna burn them up myself, but I was just running a different line than most of the guys. I was just able to keep a steady wheel, and I mean, there was a couple runs I did get it loose a lot, but just less than the other guys, and that was just it. And then I didn't really want that final restart. I'm usually not good on restarts. I usually lose, 2 or 3 spots on average. So I was just kind of bummed out, and then I just went hard. I don't know. It was just everything worked out perfectly, and but that was just a hell of a battle between those guys up front. I mean, James Thurston all race long, and there's some other ones too. But I had a blast from start to finish.
So yeah, give us a give us like a timeline of like what your brain was thinking during that last lap when both Braden and Matthew White were hunting you down coming to the stripe. Uh were you just hoping that, you would get to the line as fast as possible and that they wouldn't pass you because it seems like they had a huge head of steam after you made that big move to the inside.
Yeah, I was just trying to make sure that back end didn't kick out on me because I knew if that happened, that was going to be it for me. But because last year, or yeah, last season, I lost the lead to James. Same thing. I was leading, and a handful of laps left. I got loose in 3 and 4, and that cost me the win. And I just kept that in the back of my mind, just to make sure to keep the back end stable. I didn't have the best run on exit, but it was enough, to obviously get me the win. But man, that was just so much fun.
I tell you what, it looked like a lot of fun from here in the broadcast booth. So before we let you go and celebrate, your victory. Do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
I just want to, well, thank you for, filling in for David. I appreciate that. And just thanks to these guys that show up every week. It means a lot to me and Carter. And yeah, and then hopefully anybody that watched, hopefully they enjoyed that.
Well, that's your race winner, Vinny Tigner, coming home a very solid P1 and a very close finish. Uh, I mean, since you're the lead going, you'll probably be at the next race, so it's fair to say that we will see you at the next race.
Yeah, I'll be there. It's Bristol.
All
Should be
right,
good.
we will see you then, brother.
All right, have a good one.
You too. All right, and then we still haven't gotten Matthew Weeks or Matthew White in the booth yet, but Brandon Hunsicker came in second anyway, so we can give him his due interview. Brandon Hunsicker coming home in the second position. You got a copy?
Yeah.
So, coming up 400ths of a second short. How does it feel?
I'm disappointed. I spent most of my race just getting my butt up to the front. I wasn't the fastest, but it worked out toward the end, and I thought it was in my hands, but um, Tinder just got back to my inside and was just able to hold it on the bottom. I thought I had a run coming out of the corner, but it just wasn't as big as I thought it'd be, and came up pretty close. But I'm still happy with what we brought home. Yeah, I'm just pretty happy.
And I mean, considering where some of the other people in the championship hunt, like James Thurston and Matthew Weeks, finished, this is a pretty good haul for you. Because some of your biggest rivals when it comes to hunting for a championship finished, ninth and 10th. But what could have gone differently to where you could have been the person 400s ahead instead of the person 400s behind?
Just being more consistent throughout the corners. There's some times where I just get really loose and lose all my momentum on the people in front of me. So being consistent was just one of the main things you needed to nail down in this race, and we just didn't do it perfectly tonight. But yeah, uh, saving tires was also a big deal. Um, didn't really do a great job at that, but we'll just move on to next week.
So before we let you go and carry this positive momentum into Bristol next week, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
Um, well, we'll shout out TCMC, my team I race for here. So shout out to TCMC and everyone who's on that crew, and just looking for a great race next week.
All right, short and sweet, just the way he likes it. That's the 00 of Braden Hunsicker, a very strong second place outing here at Michigan. We will see you next week.
Yep, thank you.
All right, and Matthew White hasn't joined the waiting room just yet, so it's been about 7 minutes. So I don't think that he's too keen on getting an interview right now. So we will wrap this up real quick. I will set the camera to scenic. I will hide this UI element, and I will thank you for watching this broadcast of the Saturday Night Thunder at Michigan. What a great race we had here. My name is Garrett Hess. Big thank you to David at Fireball Talks NASCAR for letting me cover for him tonight. And big thanks to Andrew Schulte and SKS Graphics for their help with the ticker. Doesn't it look beautiful? But thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed that finish just as much as I did. My name is Garrett.